John Wick. Tough. Oh my god, what a tough guy in this movie.
中島さんは今何をおっしゃいと言いますか。あなた遅いです。
John Wick is really well done. This is just a professional job from start to finish. Well filmed, action sequences well shown, it's well directed, well acted. The villain is magnificent. He has two sides to him that I enjoy. He's just not like a straight line character. He's just he's a villain who actually thinks and uses his brain. He just isn't cruel all the way through. John Wick is a film about a Russian mob assassin who left being an assassin because he had agreed to do an impossible task, which he pulled off. So he's living off the proceeds of that. And he meets this, well, he left being an assassin because he met this really wonderful girl that he wanted to be with. Unfortunately, she had some medical condition that eventually killed her, and you see it at the beginning of the movie. He loses her and he buries her. And he's trying to cope with the loss that he's back to being alone and hopelessly and desperately alone again. And he lost the absolute love of his life. And before she dies, she sends him a puppy. Gives him a last gift, something to love, because she knew without a doubt he was going to miss her very much. So she arranged with this pet shop to have this puppy delivered, to give him something to love, to keep him grounded and founded on. Because maybe she knew he was an assassin, and she probably feared he was going to go back to doing the same thing again. But he runs into the son of the guy he used to work with, who wants his car, wants to buy his car. But John Wick likes his car. He's not going to sell it to this punk. But the punk shows up at John Wick's house, and he beats the shit out of him. He just beats this guy to a pulp, him and his buddies, and they kill the dog. And it's really sad actually to watch that. The way they did it, and that looked like a real dog. It didn't look like anything fake, which was creepy. And so John Wick recoups enough to bury his wife's last gift to him, and he goes after his former boss's son. He's just going to kill the son of the bitch and his entire crew. The former boss finds out what his son has done, and he knows it's curtains. It's just not going to go good. It's not going to go good with him. That John Wick's that good that they're in trouble now, and there's just no way out of this. And he tries to plead with John for forgiveness and just forget about it. Maybe. But John says, I want to kill your son, and that's all there is to it. If you want peace, you give me your son. But the boss, the Russian mafia boss, decides no. And yeah, it's Russians again, for some reason, being the mafia, being the enemy in another American film. It's rather tiring after a while. It's just constantly Russians. But anyway, the whole story is about assassinating the son, wiping out this Russian mob, which he does throughout the film. Eventually he's just shot up in the end. And you think he's dead at the beginning of the movie because he just falls over while looking at his wife's old video. But there's some really cool stuff in here, like when the mob boss sends the assassins to John Wick's house and he wipes them all out, and the cops show up. Cop pretty much knows what's going on inside the house, sees John Wick's bleeding face, doesn't do a thing about it. He just asks him, are you back in business again? And he says, probably, and John Wick's a man of few words. I like that part, very Clint Eastwood-like. And another good point in this is there's a hotel where assassins can go, where they pay a certain amount, a large sum of money, and they can have complete peace in there. It's run by my favorite British actor, my favorite actor of all time, British actor. Ian McShane is in this movie. He actually plays in this film the owner of the hotel where assassins can go to have peace. They can't be touched when they're inside this hotel. It's a complete rest. One of the rules is that anybody in this hotel has peace, rest, nobody can touch them. And if they violate that rule, they die. Well, a woman came in, she was hired by the Russian mob boss to kill John Wick. She shows up, tries to do it, but as a result, she also gets killed by by the hotel owner for violating that one rule. Ian McShane does a really good job in this film. There's also William Dafoe shows up as the assassin who's supposed to kill John Wick as well, but actually protects John Wick because he admires him so much. He was at his wife's funeral at the beginning. This is a really great movie. There's some comedic parts thrown in here that you would not expect at all, like John Wick being in the fighting this female assassin in the hotel for assassins. And this man comes out of the hotel room and he sees them fighting on the floor, and he just nonchalantly says, "Oh, okay, continue on," and he goes back into his hotel room. You had to see it. You would have laughed too. Very much recommend. This is a great assassin movie. It's a great adventure. Yeah, the Russian mob's angle works. A lot of tattoos in this movie if you like it. Badass Mustang at the beginning. Highly recommend this movie, John.